Did you know that we're more than just a podcast? We actually have a LinkedIn group, we have a YouTube channel with a bunch of YouTube shorts. We're also on TikTok. I think Jocelyn requested that. And then for some reason, Wendy wants us on MySpace, but I don't know if we're there yet. However, check us out on those other channels. And if you're wondering why we haven't covered a particular topic yet, well, ask us. Go to aka.ms/ low code topic request. That's one word, aka.ms/ low code topic request. Thanks, everybody. Hey, everybody, welcome to a new episode of the Low Code Approach. I'm Sean Feeney, a senior product marketing manager on the Power Platform and Microsoft Copilot Studio team, and I'm joined by.
It is I, General Jocelyn Pinchel, Senior Product Manager of Power Platform and Copilot Security. And Sean, I think this might end up being one of the most asked for topics on the podcast.
That is 100% accurate, both internally at Microsoft and with our customers and partners. This is a very in-demand topic, which can only mean one thing. We're talking licensing. And so we are joined by two amazing principal product managers, Amiya and Isha. How are you both doing today?
Doing great.
Doing great, Sean.
Awesome. So it is, like Jocelyn said, it is a really spicy topic, and I am very excited to get into the conversation. So let's level set, right? There are billing options. Isha, can you help lay the framework, the groundwork for us to get a better understanding of what's out there for our customers?
Absolutely, Sean. And I think I'm gonna go with a very relatable way to explain this. Imagine Copilot is an ice cream. How can you enjoy it? You want to like it? Just maybe start with a small scoop, get a taste of it. You can use Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat for free. It is a built into experience and ready to use for everyone who want to use it at no extra cost. You want to love it? Well, there is another option that is pay as you go, which you can unlock the power of Copilot for your real business scenarios, where you can use Copilot based on the consumption on how you are consuming Copilot, and the cost is approximately built at zero point zero 0.01 per message through Azure. There is no upfront purchase required to use Copilot through pay as you go. And last but not the least, is you got to have it. You want to go for a Sunday. Then go for a Copilot license, which is a $30 per month subscription cost that the customers can go and purchase and then unlock the power of Copilot where they can use it to all the applications that we have today, from Word to Outlook to Teams to PowerPoint, so on and so forth. Over to you, Amir.
Yeah, so in terms of conjunctive meters, we also have prepaid packs available, which is more of a message subscription. You pay $200 per 25,000 messages, which you can use along with your pay-as-you-go subscription as well.
I really love that. As a child myself, I really love ice cream, so I appreciate this analogy. I love few things more than ice cream, except maybe soup. But now let's get back into the agents, because we need to say agents at least a minimum quota of times per episode. There's a lot of ways that we can build agents, right? There's Microsoft Copilot Studio or MCS, there's Agent Builder. How do these different models align to which way that I can go and build agents?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think what you can do is you can start with the agent builder, right? Where as long as you have the M365 license, chat with Copilot, what you can do is you can also build the agents. For that, all you need to do is you need to leverage the M365 Copilot chat where it can be built in the M365 Admin Center. The other capability that we have today also is the Copilot Studio, where the customers can go and create the agents in Copilot Studio, where the consumption and the billing can be tracked in the Power Platform Admin Center. And Amir can shed some more light into that.
Yeah, so as Isa mentioned, basically it all depends on where you build your agent. If you are building your agent using Agent Builder, go and use Mac for your building. and your consumption experience. Similarly, if you are building your agent using Copilot Studio, the recommendation is you use Microsoft Copilot to Power Platform Admin Center for your billing and consumption usage.
Got it. That makes sense. So we've got an understanding of like what are my billing plan options and kind of where do I set that up. Now that I've got that set up and I'm showing usage in my organization, I need to track my agent consumption. Let's actually flip it and let's start with Power Platform Admin Center. Amiya, can you talk a little bit about how an admin would track that consumption? What are the features and tools available to them?
Sure. Let's start with, okay, how do you start tracking your consumption, specifically if you have purchased your prepaid packs, correct? We'll start with that and
Cool.
basically go. In Power Platform Admin Center, there is a section called Licensing Hub. You have a dedicated section for Copilot Studio alone to basically track your usage over there, correct? Where admin can basically get rich insights and tailored experience for their Copilot Studio usage. They can basically get full visibility of their consumption across their tenants, across their environment within the tenants, and they can also view their consumption experience for individual agents within that. At the tenant level, they can view their overall consumption. They can view their trends. Okay, how you are consuming their capacity month over month for last 12 months and whatnot. If they have set up billing plans, correct, they can see, okay, how many number of billing plans they have set up and how much of consumption has been accrued to pay as you go billing. Similarly, if they have got prepaid capacity, they can view, okay, how much capacity they have purchased and how much they have allocated to different environment and how much they have consumed month to date and month over month. Similarly, uh, as you know, basically, like in Power Platform Admin Center, we have a concept called environment. For each of the environment, they can view, okay, which are my top environments which are consuming my capacity and which environments are basically reaching their threshold. Similarly, they can identify which are their top consuming environments. If they want to basically drill down into a specific agentable consumption, they can go to the environment view within the licensing hub, and then over there they can view, okay, each individual agent, how much this individual agent is consuming their capacity. This is how basically they can track their overall consumption.
Amia, real quick follow up on that. So you mentioned there's a split between like tenant level visibility and environment level visibility, and
Mhm.
in Power Platform there are tenant level admins, and
Yep.
there's also environment level admins. Does the visibility scope different by role, or are you able to still get oversight depending if your environment or tenant level admin? Like, how does that work?
A great question on that one. As a tenant admin or a Power Platform admin, as you know, correct, you can view your consumption detail for your tenant, and you can also view your consumption detail for your all the environments within that. Now, if you are environment admin, then you can view visibility for your specific environment for which you are the admin. That number one. Option two, there is also something called more like a delegated permission. If your tenant admin wants, he or she can delegate permission to the environment admin. In that way, the environment admin also can view the consumption across all the environment.
Cool.
That, yeah, we have that functionality as well.
That's cool. Isha, on to you. Let's talk a little bit about Mac. What do we have available there?
Absolutely. So if we go to the M365 Admin Center, if the admins are familiar with the environment, on the left navigation side, we have something called as an option that says reports. What the global admin and the AI admin in this case can do is once they click on the reports, they have an option that says M365 Copilot. When they click on that node, they could see the message consumption reports today. It is already in preview available for our customers. And what it does is it provides you the details on what are the total number of messages that have been consumed against which, we are actually billing our customers so that they have the visibility to what is their consumption really. We are also providing the alerts to our admins specifically when they are reaching, say, 2000 messages alerts. Now, how do I boil down those 2000 messages in terms of dollars? As I mentioned earlier, right, one message is 0.01 cents. So if you look at 2000 messages, it's approximately $20, right? So we are giving advanced alerts to our admins and telling them if there are users who have, say, hit 2000 messages, that is approximately $20 cost, or 3000 messages, which is approximately $30 license cost, right? We are also giving a capability where they can actually even export the list of users who are actually exceeding those 2000 messages and 3000 messages, so that if admin wants to probably go and control the budget and feel like, hey, you know what? Somebody who is at 3,000 messages, probably better to go and assign a license to that user and move them from pay as you go. They can do that. So that is the capability we are providing. And of course, it provides, the daily and the cumulative data. It also provides what is the agent user level drill downs, so on and so forth. So these are some of the capabilities that we are providing at the message consumption. There is another reporting that we are working on. It would be coming out pretty soon, is the agent usage reporting, right? Like where admins are really interested to know what is the usage we have actually for all the agents that are being consumed under the billing policies, right? So we are working on building that report as well, which would be going out live pretty soon in this quarter, where we are actually showing the total active agents, what is their usage. We are also drilling down at a different segmentation. It's a first party agent, right, created by Microsoft, or a third party agent created by external Microsoft partners, or a LOB agent, which is probably created by the tenant itself, right? So we are going to give those drill downs as well, so that they have visibility to see what is the usage of each and every agent. And of course, most important, what we are doing is we are giving these timely insights values, and the data would be getting updated in every hour, right? The moment they consume the message, within 1 hour, that data would start reflecting in our reports. So those are some of the functionalities we already have available and are in the pipeline, which would be coming out soon.
That was so much incredible information. Before I just switch gears for a moment, ask Amiya something. I know all of the sales guys listening right now are going to go and take this as the Bible and quote it directly word for word. I just want to clarify one thing. You said 0.01 cents. Do we mean $0.01, like 1 cent per, or
Zero,
did
one
we?
cent per message.
1 cent per message. Okay, awesome. Asterisk there. You sales
So
guys
the way
heard us
basically
right.
it goes is if you go $30 per 25,000 messages, you can calculate based on that.
Amazing. Thank you. So then, Amiya, I want to just touch on something that you wrote a blog about a couple of months back, and I thought that it was really, really awesome, about some of the PAYGO capabilities in PPAC. And you really dove into the flexibility that you could have when it comes to either assigning for resource types or versus for environment groups, and how that really curtails to what your business needs are. Can you shed a little bit of light on that?
Is your question about Paygo, or in general, how do you basically start controlling your message consumption?
You can take it as you'd like.
Okay. Just to be clear, correct? Like whether it's a Paygo or prepaid message, we basically can go in a similar way. But I'll start with prepaid, correct? Let's consider that your organization has purchased Copilot Studio message capacity packs, okay? Either X number of packs, 2 packs, 3 packs, whatnot, okay? How do you basically get granular control over, okay, how much capacity can be used by a specific department, okay? Now, in Power Platform admins, Power Platform, as you know, basically we have something called environment, which is more of a logical container that holds apps, flows, your agents, and whatnot, correct? Now, each environment that can map to different department, correct? Or maybe one department, let's just think about HR department. HR department may be using one or two environment. Similarly, like your finance department, that can basically map to one or two environment. Now, what you can essentially do in Power Platform Admin Center, you can allocate capacity to individual environment. That way, this capacity which is allocated to that specific environment, that is basically can only be used by that specific environment. So which means basically, let's assume that okay, you have 50,000 messages back, or sorry, 50,000 messages which is available based on 2 packs. You can decide, okay, I want to allocate 10,000 messages to environment A, which means this 10,000 is pre-allocated to that environment which is mapped to HR department. That way, like other environments cannot basically consume any messages from this specific pool which is allocated to this environment. So that's how basically you control, okay, who can use how much of capacity in a specific environment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that totally makes sense.
So let's address something that we've kind of danced around a little bit in this episode, where we keep on bringing up two different admin centers, right? And so there's a method to this madness, if you will. And really, we'll start with you, Amiya. Let's talk a little bit about, like, how does an admin approach, or how do admins, multiple admins, approach management of agents if there's two different landing spots between Microsoft 365 Admin Center and Power Platform Admin Center?
It all depends on, okay, what is your scenario. Let's assume you are starting or trying to build a custom agent using Copilot Studio. Then our recommendation will be basically you go and basically use Copilot, sorry, Power Platform Admin Center, because you are using Copilot Studio. Assume that, okay, you have prepaid pack, then obviously you start using Power Platform Admin Center. Now, if you are using M365 Copilot Studio Chart Agent, then you can use Mac both for your per user licenses as well as for your pay as you go billing. Mac is recommended for portals for generalized IT admins managing M365 Copilot Chart, which offers a centralized experience through Copilot control system. You can use it for billing, usage, governance, and whatnot. Now, if you have got both prepaid and pay go, currently, yes, you can use PPAC or Power Platform Admin Center. Having said that, Mac is also coming up with a Copilot control system for prepaid pack governance as well, which obviously you can use that. Isha, I want to provide any update on Mac.
Yeah, definitely. So, plus one to what Amiya just mentioned here, Sean. M365 Admin Center is actively working on bringing the capacity pack support as well to the admin center, where the global admins would be notified that, hey, you know what, you already have a capacity pack available. Why don't you consume that for your billing policies? One of the caveat that we would be doing is to ensure that the pay as you go model is still enabled for that particular tenant. And the reason is we want to make sure we are not disrupting the experience for our customers. And what do I really mean by that is, say you have a capacity pack available for, say, 20,000 messages, right? Once those 20,000 messages are consumed, say on the 20th day of your month, right? And the capacity packs are per month. Now you're still left with 10 days. What happens next? If the pay as you go is enabled, the beauty is that there would be no disruption to the business, and the admins and the users can continue using the agents, and rest of the billing, whatever consumption would happen, would come as a pay as you go billing cost that we can do to the particular organization. So that is a functionality we are bringing in Q1 of this fiscal year.
Thank you, Isha. And the same functionality also exists in Power Platform Admin
Yep.
Center today, which you call it or name it as burst to pay go, which means basically once you have consumed all your prepaid capacity, if you have basically set a pay as you go, then basically any overage for that environment will get billed to pay as you go subscription in that case. And again, you will have an option to basically go for a hard enforcement as well. Suppose like you don't want to go for a pay as you go. If you want to shut down all your agents in that environment once your capacity is exhausted, you can still basically opt in for that option. And you can also subscribe to email notification. The moment basically it hits 80% or 90% of your overall consumption, then admins can subscribe to notification and they will get notified that, okay, yeah, your environment is already reaching so threshold.
So I think we understand that we have a number of tools at our disposal that are broken down into where I'm building what, right? But now, I'm a newbie admin. I'm not a newbie admin, but let's say I am a newbie admin and the whole agentic world is new to me and my organization, but I'm ready to start trying these things out. I have no idea how to estimate what my monetary investment should be in this space. How can I get a grip on how much money I should be allocating where?
So your question is basically you are a newbie admin. You want to basically know how much of consumption it will be for your agent.
Yes,
So end of the day, what you are looking for is more like estimator here, like basically tell me, okay, how much your use is going to be. Is that
exactly.
okay?
Yep.
Yeah? So we are introducing a new tool, correct? Which will bring clarity and confidence about your overall planning process, correct? The tool we are naming it as Copilot Studio Agent Message Usage Estimator. It's a long name, but so it can forecast your agent's monthly message consumption volume. Whether you are just starting or scaling off, it will provide you a clear picture of what is going to be your, based on your agent's configuration, what is going to be your usage. You can choose, okay, how many, for example, graph grounding calls I'm probably going to make, how many monthly messages, how many calls I'm going to make for a month, with how many users are going to have M3 spec Copilot license or not, and based on that, you can provide a prediction of, okay, this many number of messages is can going to consume per month. That's how basically you can estimate and plan accordingly.
If that name changes between now and whenever this episode drops, we know that Sean had something to do with it because the face he made when you said that.
We can basically drop that link in the chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a very marketing friendly name that we came up. So
And just to be clear, it's not an exact pricing calculator, and it doesn't guarantee that okay, this is going to be your exact cost. This is at least going to provide you a prediction of okay, how much of monthly messages you are going to consume
But I'm
based
a
on your
newbie
business.
admin. I mean, anything will help me. Anything will be better than nothing.
Yep, that's fair. Like basically, you can just plug in. Okay, hey, this is what my number of messages is going to be. And to be frank, like for that scenario, I would suggest basically folks should go for pay as you go, so that basically they don't have to basically commit to okay how many number of message packs they have to go per month over month, or basically assign license to individual user. They can basically start with a pay as you go, see how their consumption is going to be, and after that they can slowly move over to appropriate licensing model.
that makes sense. What that actually that brings me to my next question, which is more of like strategy, right? I say I'm a newbie admin like Jocelyn, say I'm a seasoned pro like myself. What does that mean in the conversation that I'm having as an admin with my director, with my CFO, when I'm saying, hey, like we don't have to go and put all this money down into this investment. We can try to build out, not try, we will successfully build out agents, but we will do this in a governed manner, right? With cost controls that are available. Isha, can you give me some words of wisdom that I can parrot back as a seasoned IT pro or even a newbie admin that I can talk to my leadership about to say like, hey, it's okay. Microsoft has controls in place to enable us to be successful here.
Yes, absolutely, Sean. So one of the things that we have in M365 Admin Center, and I'll take a step back and actually shed some light on how one can actually even set up a pay-as-you-go billing model in M365 Admin Center. One of the prerequisites that we recommend our admins is to ensure that they have the Azure subscription, they have an Azure resource group created, and they are the owner or for that Azure subscription and resource group. So that is one of the key thing that is a prerequisite needed to set up a pay-as-you-go billing model in M365 Admin Center. Now, what that does, what is the benefit of doing that? Now, the benefit of doing that is with that, we can actually enable the capability of soft enforcement, that is the email alerts. What the admins can do is in Azure portal, they can go ahead and they can set up the limits that, hey, you know what, this is going to be the amount that I want to consume. And once I have consumed that, or, I want to get notifications beforehand, I can get those email alerts and notifications in place so that I know how close or how far I am to to the budget limits that I have set up for my pay as you go model to use all the declarative agents that they want to. We are also working on bringing in the new budget policy. So in M365 Admin Center, the global admin, AI admin, or a billing admin, they can actually set up billing policies today at departmental level. What it really means is that if you look at a big SP 500 customer, they might have multiple departments within their organization, from HR to finance to IT. They can set up billing policies at department levels. We are now going to introduce budget limits at departmental level. What they can say is, for example, $60,000 is my budget limit for HR department. The moment I hit that $60,000, we would give them an email alert saying, you have consumed your $60,000 budget limits. Whereas for finance, maybe they want to do it to $40,000. To IT, they want to do 100K. We are enabling budget limits at departmental level for our customers so that they have more governance and more control on how they are consuming their budget for different departments within their organization.
That is a lot of really awesome best practices. I want to think about scenarios specifically. And I think we started to touch on this. Like, as an admin, I should be thinking about such and such. And Ami, I wanted to go back to one thing where you were saying in this situation, I would recommend you starting off with Pago, right? I want to talk about one other type of scenario where, say, I, as a newbie admin, as Sean has clearly established, I do not know what I'm doing. I actually started off by perhaps assigning a set number of licenses. And then I realized that I didn't do a good job. What can I do to get myself out of that situation given all of the flexibility that we have?
So your question is you have assigned certain number of licenses
Mm-hmm.
or capacity to an environment and you realize that okay, we're probably not using that more often. I think I can break it into two parts, correct? Like in a scenario where we know that okay, hey, like you are probably allocated some amount of capacity to an environment, for example, and you realize that okay, not you're not using that much. You can obviously by end of your month, you can reallocate the capacity to other environment. If you figure out that okay, probably I'm not using that much, correct? So that way other environment who want to basically use more and more capacity, they can make use of that capacity. That's number two. What happens basically, you have allocated capacity and what you see that okay, one specific agent in that environment is cannibalizing capacity which is allocated to this environment all up. So how do you basically control that, okay? Now in next few weeks we are coming up with a new experience, or when I call new experience a tool. Essentially you can start limiting capacity for an agent. Today, whatever we have discussed, like whether you are setting up your billing plan or your allocation of capacity, this is everything is happening at the environment level. We are taking that into one kernel level. So essentially, what you can do is we are introducing a new page within licensing hub where you can see okay, each of your agent how much capacity it is consuming and whether the specific agent is hitting a specific limit or not. Now from here you can basically start allocating okay, or start setting a limit. Okay, my agent A can consume max up to 1,000 capacity messages. Similarly agent B can max use up to 2,000 messages and whatnot. So what will happen is that any point of time, if there is a limit set for that specific agent, that agent cannot go or overshoot the limit which is allocated to that specific agent. That way you start getting granular control of okay, like each of your agent cannot basically exceed certain amount of capacity which has been allocated to those agents. Does that make sense?
I think that makes sense.
If you're able to also control whether hey, like irrespective of whether the agent is basically consuming more capacity or not, you can also or turn up the agent from admin center itself.
I think that makes sense. But let's say I screwed up the other direction and I didn't assign enough. Do I have the
Mhm.
flexibility to then transition back to Pago to like clean up my mistakes?
Yeah, you can. So the way it works, by default you don't have to start allocating capacity to each and every environment. Let's say like you have a capacity which you have purchased. Let's say like you have got 10 units which is 250k message unit what you have. You don't have to allocate or start allocating capacity to each and every environment. Now as your agents in an environment start consuming capacity, you start drawing down from from your tenant pool. Now suppose you want to okay, no, I just want to basically dedicate some of the capacity for a specific setup environment. At that point you can go and basically allocate capacity for that environment. Now, in a scenario when you don't know or when you have a like you don't have enough prediction of how much capacity this agent or this agent in this environment going to consume, you can always switch an option. Okay, I want to draw down capacity from my tenant pool, or you can also think about hey, I want to draw down from the tenant capacity pool, and if this exhausts, then what I want to do is from that point onwards, I want to go to Pago. So you have an option. Okay, drawing down from tenant capacity at the same time, basically billing to Pago once everything is adjusted. So you have both the options. And you can
That's
also
awesome.
go
And
Pago as well. Like again, I don't want to use any of my prepaid capacity directly. I want to get billed to Pago. That option also you have. So that way, basically, you don't
got it.
have capacity from any other environment.
And is that coming to Mac too, or to Microsoft 365 Admin Center, or is that purely in Power Platform Admin Center?
Great question, Sean. This is one of our top asks from our customers where they are actually asking us that, hey, we want agent level controls, right, to set up our billing policies, to set up our budgets. So we are actively working on bringing in those funnels as well, as Amia was just mentioning, right? We are actually going to start supporting to start with, we'll start with agent level billing policy setups where for a specific billing policy, admins would have the control to select which agents they want to link to that billing policy. So we'll start with that, and once that feature is rolled out, we would be enabling the budget limits at agent level, where the admins would have the power to decide for this specific agent, this is the amount of budget that I want to consume. And once that budget is consumed, again, we will be bringing in the soft limits and the hard limits. Soft enforcement, more like an email notification where we would be alerting them that, hey, you are hitting your budget limits. And then we would also introduce hard shutoffs. And what hard shutoffs would do is, once they have exceeded or once they have met that budget limit, the service will be disabled, the agent will be disabled, where the admin won't be, or the users won't be able to use that agent. So we would be bringing in those functionalities into M365 Admin Center pretty soon.
Wow, that is a lot. Like I feel so much more educated after this recording. Like this has been incredible. And I think that's where I like to say that both Jocelyn and I are now seasoned admins after having this conversation.
Thank you. I've been promoted.
Yeah, you're welcome. So we're getting the signal from our producer, unfortunately, that we do have to wrap. But there's a question that I want to pose to both of you. Isha, I would like your answer first on this. What's the one leave behind that you want for our admins, for our listeners across both, Microsoft Copilot Studio and M365 Copilot? Like, what do you want to make sure that they walk away from knowing after listening to this episode?
I think the key thing that they really need to understand is, as long as they are using M365 Copilot Chat, they can actually manage the billing policy setup and even the billing alerts and message consumption data, everything in M365 Admin Center. And when it comes to Copilot Studio, then Power Platform Admin Center is the place to go for them. I think that is one of the common confusion for our customers. So I think the whole idea of this podcast, I hope that this sorts out that confusion for our customers and they get more clarity that, which platform is for which environment, where they can see the usage of the agents where they are creating that. So I think that is the key takeaway I think I would like the users to take from this podcast.
I love that. And same question to you, Amiya.
So I think Isa covered that. But having said that, whether you are using prepaid pack or pay as you go, both admin center has got or will have capability where admins can manage their agent consumption, track their managed consumption, and will have full control of which agent can use how much of capacity and whatnot.
There's so much to take from this, and I am 100% positive that we will have more news coming out talking about new features, new ways that admins can approach this. This has been fantastic. Isha, Amiya, we would love to have you back on in the future. Really excited to get this one out.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you both.